We talk about the Islamification of this country a lot because it is one of the more pressing threats to the dismantling of our entire way of life. But I don't think that you guys understand how far it extends. Like how far this Islamification, this bending over backwards for a religion, a way of life that actually hates you and probably will try to kill you. I mean, it's in their books, not mine. Try to kill you if you don't convert. It's so weird to see, all of America just like apologizing, submitting to these people because they don't want to be called mean names. They don't want to be like, you're Islamophobic. Oh no, not that. And then I don't know what happens to them after that because I get called that all the time, even though I'm not. And nothing happens to me. So I don't know what the big deal is. But when I explain to you how far this goes, how far this extends, it's actually kind of mind-blowing. They've actually somehow gotten their tentacles into big tech. They've gotten their tentacles into big tech because let me tell you what I experienced with my own organization, okay? Texas Family Project, I'm the vice president. This is a nonprofit in the state of Texas, and we are working very hard to not only protect and defend the innocence of children, but also strengthen families in the state of Texas through various ways, right? And by the way, we would love for you guys to help us out if you want to donate, if you want to join our newsletter so you can find out what's going on. We have been instrumental in, all of fighting the drag stuff, all the LGBT trans stuff. TexasFamilyProject.com is where you can go and check us out. I greatly appreciate it. And so we wanted to take out a paid ad on Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, with this message that we posted several days prior. It just says Sharia has no place in Texas. That's all that it said. Now, when we applied for the ad, we just added something it was a simple caption. It was like, hey, if you agree with this, like our page. It's like, hey, if you're aligned on this, which we all should be, Sharia law has no place in Texas. It is incompatible with this country. It is incompatible with the Constitution. It is certainly incompatible with the laws in the state of Texas. That should be something very simple and non-controversial. We're not saying get out if you're brown. Get out if you're Islamic. Get out if you're Muslim, which I won't say anything to get my organization in trouble. But that's not what was being said here, is my point. All it said was Sharia law has no place in Texas. We added a quick caption, said if you feel similar, like our page. Meta actually rejected our ad. They said it looks like your ad contains content that is not allowed on Meta's advertising platforms. This goes against our advertising standards, community standards, or terms of service. And then it's like, hey, visit our business center to go read all this gobbledygook about why your ad was removed and how to fix it. You're not allowed now to say on Facebook, on Meta, that Sharia law has no place in this country, in the state of Texas. That's how far we're in with this whole Islam thing, okay? That's just another one of the many examples of how these people are coming in, they're infiltrating our communities, and they are taking control through small and large methods. Like they're running for the city councils, they're running for the school boards. They're also obviously manipulating the strings of big tech. You've got these like mentally ill white women named Karen who are like, yes, I will make sure that nobody says anything mean about you, Mohammed. It's so embarrassing. How weak. And the scariest thing is like, this is Texas. I mean, I get it. Big tech is everywhere. But this is Texas. Let me tell you about what's happening in Texas. And think to yourself, if this is happening in Texas, it's happening everywhere at much greater rates, potentially. Okay? The Texas Muslim population is approximately 500,000 people. By the way, these are conservative estimates. I never believe the conservative estimates. I'll give them to you, but just know I believe it's far larger. Far larger. I walk around in the DFW suburbs. Plano, Richardson, Irving, Carrollton. I don't see anyone like me. And I don't need to. Like, I don't want that to sound like, oh, if they have a different color skin, they can't be here. No, it's just like they're speaking different languages. They're wearing clothing that like we don't wear here in America. By the way, they have no intention of speaking to me or becoming friendly with me. That is very clear. And on top of that, you have all of these places that are changing the way that they do things. I mean, we're talking about, I'm not allowed to say Sharia law has no place in Texas. Okay. Also, now all of a sudden we have to accommodate their way of life. We have to accommodate them. We don't want to offend them. We want to make sure they feel included. We have to make sure that they are included, particularly in public schools. I want to show you an email that was sent out to the Hearst Euless Bedford Independent School District here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, this is about their holiday party, which is a whole other issue, okay? They couldn't call it the Christmas party. They had to call it the holiday party because they didn't want to offend. Trust me when I tell you, I don't think they were worried about offending any Jewish people there. All right, because the translations that you see, they had Farsi, Urdu, Arabic, Spanish. It goes on. Why do we need that many translations for a school newsletter in America? What? Like, how is this Texas? How is this America? When you have to, I mean, that's like worse than when you go to the voting booth. I get pissed off when they ask me, do you want your ballot in English or Spanish? I'm like, shut up. I just said 2 paragraphs to you in English. Why are you asking me that? Obviously, I need it in English. I get pissed off that they ask if you want it in one other language. Now you have schools in Dallas-Fort Worth in Texas that have to make sure to translate a simple school newsletter with all different types of like Muslim language. That's nuts. That's crazy. Again, let me give you another one in the state of Texas. You have these 2 state reps. They're like some of the worst of the worst. Suleiman Leilani and Salman Bojani, who I believe is also a gay. I think his whole shtick was like he got sworn in on the Quran and he proposed to his gay boyfriend. And I'm like, boy, do I need to tell you what would happen if you did that over in your home country? It would not go well for you. And all I would have to say is if all of your friends convinced you to just keep walking up the steps to the top of a tall building, don't do it. Don't do it. Because I care about humanity. All right. And so these 2 state reps are, they have influence. They're trying to reshape the lives of Texans, and they don't even bother to speak English while doing it.
मेरा नाम डॉक्टर सुलेमान ललानी है और मैं टेक्सास हाउस ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटेटिव का डिस्ट्रिक्ट 76 का रिप्रेजेंटेटिव हूँ। जैसे कि आपको इल्म है,
of course, they're
administration के दौरान
making sure in case you're worried about ICE.
Custom enforcement.
There are ICE raids. He wants to warn everyone.
आप सबको मेरा सलाम। मेरा नाम सलमान बोजानी है और मैं टेक्सास का स्टेट रिप्रेजेंटेटिव हूँ। आपको शायद खबर होगी कि प्रेसिडेंट ट्रम्प के अफसरान पूरे मुल्क में इमिग्रेशन रेड कर रहे हैं। कहाँ और कब वो रेड होंगे कोई नहीं जानता, पर हम ये जानते हैं कि जहाँ पे रेड हो चुके हैं उसमें अपने कई लोग जो कि अनडॉक्यूमेंटेड है, वीज़ा पे है, जिनके पास ग्रीन कार्ड है और कहीं अमेरिकन सिटीजन भी पकड़ा गए हैं।
It's so insulting. It's so insulting. Control, can you find out who the gay one was? I swear, maybe I'm wrong. I could swear it was a Muslim. As if that doesn't exist. I mean, Queers for Palestine, duh. But this is Texas. This is Texas. You think it's not happening anywhere else? Let me give you one more example outside of Texas, Newark, New Jersey, where they just raised an Islamic flag over City Hall. They're chanting Allahu Akbar. By the way, you couldn't make this up if you tried. This is the Muslim American flag, they're calling it. The New World flag is another name for it, which, boy, that's not terrifying at all. And it's just so crazy. Like this city, Newark, New Jersey, they have a direct eye line to the World Trade Center. What happened to never forget? Now they're just raising Islamic flags and chanting Allahu Akbar. Hello? Is anyone home? Knock, knock. Is anyone else a little bit terrified about what's happening? Now, I do have some good news on this front. Number one, President Trump has just announced that DHS and USCIS are ending temporary protected status for Somalians. Temporary means temporary, they said on their Twitter account. Somali nationals with TPS, temporary protected status, are now required to leave the United States by March 17th, 2026. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Go home. I heard it's gold there. I've been reliably informed Somalia is gold, so congrats. Welcome back to your gold land or something. Now, this TPS has actually been in existence. We've talked about this on a prior show since 1991. And it typically, TPS, temporary protected status, will last around 6 to 18 months. So I am just calling on President Trump to backdate this. Let's make this retroactive. Let's remove the Somalians who were on a TPS. And you know what? Because I am so kind and benevolent and I do care about humanity, as I previously stated, let's be nice. We'll just say, we'll call it 3 years. Okay? Anyone who came here in 1994 or later can go back. First 3 years you're grandfathered in, 1994 through 2026, go home. That would also conveniently solve our Ilhan Omar problem because she came here in 1995. But I digress. They're also going to send a bunch more out because DHS is launching a massive probe of immigration fraud in Minnesota. They're going to conduct new background checks and re-verify their claims of persecution to ensure that they actually deserved to be here in the U.S. to begin with. And again, I would go back to the gold comment. I think you should find the guy who called Somalia gold. That doesn't sound like you're being persecuted, sir. You don't really need to be here. By the way, again, Ilhan, is she on that list? Can we get some verification, please? Now, one more thing that was announced today that I am like, inject this into my veins. President Trump is addressing something that I keep saying we need to do, which is there needs to be accountability. There need to be consequences for these Democrat cities and these Democrat states who continue to harbor illegals and continue to harbor these people that the ICE is going in. They're trying to get them. They're not working with ICE. If you are a sanctuary city and a sanctuary state, you're not getting any more federal money if you don't comply with federal law. Here's President Trump on that today.
No country can afford to take in millions of people, pay for their education, their health care, their hospitals. You just can't do it. And we all have a heart. You can't do it. But many of those people are murderers. They're people released from jails, prisons, mental institutions, insane asylums. They're people that are drug dealers. They're addicts. Additionally, starting February 1st, we're not making any payments to sanctuary cities or states having sanctuary cities because they do everything possible to protect criminals at the expense of American citizens, and it breeds fraud and crime and all of the other problems that come. So we're not making any payment to anybody that supports sanctuary cities.
Finally, I wanted this earlier. The fact that President Trump gave them so much time to cooperate, I think, was very kind of him. I wanted this much earlier. Finally, use the purse strings to hit them hard. There is no excuse for this any longer.